The story starts in a mysterious world located thousands of kilometers up in the sky. Reaching there was like an open invitation to death. Still, some soldiers put their lives on the line and managed to get up there. But the very next moment, they came face to face with the most dangerous and massive monster of that world. Jack felt him coming and immediately hid by dipping his head underwater. Just then, a massive foot appeared in front of him, making the nearby sheep run away in terror. Then the monster grabbed a sheep and swallowed it whole while it was still raw. Seeing this horrifying sight, Jack completely panicked. Meanwhile, a soldier hiding behind a tree turned back to look at the monster. But right then, the monster wrinkled his nose and caught his scent. Out of fear, the soldier hid behind the tree again, but the monster began moving toward him with massive steps. Holding his breath, the soldier couldn't stop himself anymore and suddenly started running. But it was too late now. He was already in the monster's sight. Without wasting a second, he ripped the entire tree out by the roots and threw it. The soldier ran for his life, but his short legs were no match for the giant's long legs. The monster stepped up quickly and knocked him out in one go. Seeing a human for the first time, he leaned down and looked closely. Just as he was about to pick him up and take him away, the captain ran toward him with a sword and stabbed it into the monster's heel with all his might. Wincing in pain, the monster turned around, but the next second, he gave the captain a light kick and sent him flying far away. Then he pulled out the sword stuck in his foot and picked up both soldiers to take them away to eat. Standing far off, Jack was watching all of this. At that moment, he realized what a huge mistake he had made by coming here. Actually, some time ago, Jack had gotten several magic beans with the help of a monk. But as soon as his girlfriend, who was a princess, came to meet him, one of those beans started growing rapidly as soon as it touched water. This suddenly made the whole wooden house shake violently, and strange, scary sounds started coming from below. Both couldn't even move from there out of fear, and then suddenly the ground split open, and a massive vine shot up toward the sky, tearing through the house. Seeing this, the princess tried to run immediately, but then a table fell on top of her. Jack moved forward to save her, but then the vines tossed him out of the house. At that moment, a wooden door suddenly opened, and the princess saw a way out. But just as she started running out, the vine suddenly slammed the door shut. The princess tried to open the door, but it didn't budge at all. Seeing this, Jack immediately picked up an axe to cut the vines. But then suddenly the whole house was uprooted and started moving toward the sky. At the very last second, Jack jumped and grabbed the edge. But the vines were growing so fast that within seconds, the house reached thousands of meters high. Jack started cutting the vine by swinging the axe with all his might. As soon as the vine broke, the princess opened the door immediately. But the next second, the wood under her feet broke, and despite holding hands, he started falling down from a height of 10,000 meters. Jack started sliding down the magic vines toward the ground. But on the way, the vines slowed down his speed a bit, and finally he fell on the ground and passed out. But the princess's luck wasn't that good because the vine took her with it to the other side of the sky. The next morning, Jack woke up panicking and saw the king standing in front of him, looking for the princess. Seeing this, Jack lost his mind and was forced to tell the king the whole story. When Jack pointed toward the sky, everyone saw a massive vine going straight up, piercing the clouds. As soon as the king learned the truth, he didn't waste a single moment and sent a squad of soldiers with Jack to rescue the princess. Soon, everyone reached beyond the clouds by climbing up that vine. Then the captain stepped forward and started sliding from one side to the other, because that was the only way to reach the princess. Forced into it, Jack took off his belt and got himself ready. But just as he was thinking of moving forward, a curly-haired man standing nearby pushed him forward with a hard kick. Seeing that height, Jack's condition got worse, and while sliding midway, his hands suddenly slipped and he fell straight down. But luckily, the vines caught him halfway. As soon as he regained consciousness, he started climbing up again without stopping. Upon reaching the top, the weather completely turned bad. There were heavy storms and crashing lightning everywhere. Then suddenly, a bolt of lightning fell directly on a soldier. This caused him to slip, and the other soldiers crashed into him and started falling down. But at the last moment, one soldier grabbed the rope tightly. Because of this, the lives of the rest were somehow saved. But the soldiers who had fallen were now hanging in the air. If they weren't pulled up immediately, the whole team could be in danger. Then Roderick said to his partner standing nearby, "Cut the rope." That man liked the idea and immediately pulled out a knife hidden by his foot. The soldiers hanging below started begging not to do it, but without showing any mercy, he cut the rope, and the hanging soldiers fell down from a height of 10,000 feet. Somehow the remaining soldiers reached the top, and by then it was morning. As soon as Jack looked back, he was completely shocked because a massive world existed above the clouds. And seeing this sight, everyone started moving that way. Then the captain saw fresh footprints on the ground, from which he guessed that the princess hadn't gone down, but was somewhere right here. And when everyone came out of the cave, the captain was stunned seeing the view in front of him because this world was much bigger than expected. Everyone started checking the area while moving forward. Then their eyes fell on the branches of the trees. They found marks left by the princess there. Meanwhile, Jack also found the same book on the ground that he had given to the princess. Then they saw broken branches, and from this they realized that some dangerous creature had taken the princess. After this, everyone split into 2 teams and set out in different directions to find the princess. On the way, Jack and his partners reached a river where they saw a herd of fat, healthy sheep. Being hungry for several days, they thought of cooking a sheep. But as they tried to catch the sheep, a nearby trap accidentally got activated. Jack immediately pulled out his knife and started cutting the net with all his might. On the other side, the captain was also trying to cut the rope. But then his eyes fell on something strange. All the nearby crows suddenly flew away in panic, and all the sheep started running in the other direction together. The captain got suspicious, but he kept cutting the rope anyway, and somehow they both got out of the net. But then a scary sound echoed from the forest, and at that moment, a massive monster appeared in front of them and took both soldiers away. Jack quietly started following the monster so that he could save the princess along with his partners as soon as he got the chance. On the other side, Roderick reached the edge of a cliff with 2 soldiers. The bald man felt that searching like this was useless and started moving forward to find another way. But then Roderick made his move. "Hey, look, there's Isabel!" As soon as the bald man turned back and came near the cliff, Roderick took advantage of the opportunity and pushed him straight into the deep abyss. Seeing this, Roderick's friends started laughing loudly. Then a giant hand suddenly grabbed him. Screaming sound. Right at that moment, another monster as big as a mountain appeared behind him. Roderick fell to the ground out of fear and quickly started looking for something in his bag. But just as the monster reached out his hand to catch him, right at that moment, Roderick pulled out a shining crown. As soon as they saw the crown, the monsters stopped right there. It was as if some invisible power had gripped them. Actually, this was a magic crown, and whoever held this powerful crown, the monsters would be forced to obey their every word. Meanwhile, Jack reached their hideout while following the monster and was shocked seeing the view there because there were beautiful waterfalls and high mountains everywhere that looked like heaven. Right there, a 2-headed monster had the princess locked in a cage. Then he took her to the rest of the monsters, where all the monsters gathered and started looking at her. Then the monster who had caught the captain and that fat soldier also returned. He brought them and threw them near the cage. Seeing this, the 2-headed monster suspected that maybe more humans were present here. So he grabbed a fat soldier lying on the ground, wrung his neck, and swallowed him alive. After this, the monster spat out his armor. But just as the monster started threatening the captain that he would eat the princess too, a voice came from nearby that pulled everyone's attention. Actually, that voice was none other than that traitor, Roderick. Seeing the crown worn on his head, all the other monsters immediately bowed on their knees, and at that moment, his real plan came out in front of everyone. He went straight to the 2-headed monster and ordered him to get on his knees. Seeing the crown on his head, the 2-headed monster was forced to bow, and then Roderick stepped on his face and slowly walked toward the throne. And from that moment, Roderick became the new king of the monster world. He announced a plan to attack the humans and conquer the whole world. Hearing his words, the monster army became very happy, but something else was going on in the mind of the 2-headed monster. Over there, a monster picked up the captain to cook him and threw him straight onto sticky dough. The more he struggled, the more he got stuck in it. Then the monster moved forward and dumped a handful of flour on the captain. After this, the monster did something really gross. The monster rolled the captain up and set him aside. After the preparation, only the vegetables were left to be added. As soon as he went to get the vegetables, Jack quietly arrived there. Seeing Jack, the princess was extremely happy, but he immediately signaled her to stay quiet. On the other side, the monster was still busy, and meanwhile, Jack slowly reached the princess. He tried to open the cage lock, but it wasn't something he could do. Then the princess told him to save the captain first, whom the monster had lined up with the pigs. Jack immediately reached him and started separating him from the sticky dough with a knife. At the same time, the monster started coming back with spices. Seeing this, Jack quickly handed the knife to the captain and hid. Luckily, the monster didn't suspect anything. He picked up some sharp sticks and poked them into the pig lying near the captain's eyes. The pig that was screaming until now suddenly went quiet. Now it was the captain's turn. The monster attacked without showing mercy, but he missed a little. Otherwise, the captain's future bloodline would have been wiped out. Seeing this, the captain fainted from fear. Then the monster picked them all up and put them in the burning furnace nearby. Now only Jack was left to save them. By this time, Jack had reached the top of an iron ring, and the monster didn't even have a hint of it. Then the monster picked up a sharp knife and went straight toward the princess. Without delay, he reached inside, pulled the princess out, and set her on the table, preparing to cut her. But then Jack quietly picked up a heavy knife kept nearby. The unaware monster was about to strike the princess. Right then, Jack stabbed the knife straight into his spine. The monster started screaming loudly in pain, but Jack held the knife firmly. Then the monster went out of control, crashed into the wall, and died right there. Seeing this, both the princess and the captain were shocked. After this, all three immediately reached that magic vine, but a monster was already on guard there, sent by Roderick. Then a strange idea came to Jack's mind. He took a beehive and slowly approached the monster with the captain. Then the captain lifted the monster's helmet and Jack dumped the hive inside. The monster was still sleeping carelessly and didn't have the slightest idea what was about to happen to him. As soon as Jack put the hive inside, the captain immediately closed the helmet, and then both quickly ran from there and hid behind a nearby rock and waited. In a little while, the monster stood up struggling from the bee stings and started shaking his body in pain. But the more he struggled, the more the bees attacked him. Panicking, the monster started running from there, but slipped and hit the rocks, and then he rolled down to the edge of the cliff. It looked like he was about to fall. Then suddenly he took off his helmet. Seeing this, the three were shocked for a moment. But then a bee came flying straight toward him, and the next moment it stung the monster hard, making him lose control and fall straight down. Seeing this, all three started jumping with joy. They couldn't believe they had defeated such a big monster so easily. After this, the three decided to leave immediately, but suddenly the captain stopped. He said he would have to stay here to snatch the crown from Roderick, so Jack handed him the knife and started going down with the princess. At the same time, the monster crashed into the vines and finally fell down. Hearing the loud sound, the king immediately came out of his tent and was terrified seeing this dangerous monster. Suddenly, the village people also gathered there. Then the king, unwillingly, made a big decision for the sake of the people and to stop the monsters from coming here. He immediately ordered the general to cut the vine. The soldiers hammered huge iron spikes into that big vine. Then they attached strong hooks and started pulling it with the help of some bulls and horses. Slowly, that massive vine started shaking from the roots, but this put the soldiers standing nearby in sudden danger. Then suddenly, the thick middle vine also started breaking. The soldiers standing above started falling down, causing chaos everywhere. Over there, Jack and the princess were coming down using the vine, but as soon as they looked down, they panicked out of fear because the vine had gone out of control and could fall at any moment. At that time, Jack saw the chance, grabbed the princess tightly, and quickly caught a hanging branch. Both started moving down rapidly while swinging in the air. Finally, when they fell down, a hay pile slowed their speed, and this way, both reached the ground safely. Right at that moment, Roderick gathered all the monsters and prepared to attack the humans. Then the two-headed monster sensed a human, which made the captain hide. Then Roderick moved forward and pulled out the magic seeds that grow vines. But then suddenly the captain jumped on him, causing the magic seeds to be left on the rock, and Roderick fell straight into a pit. Roderick started calling the monsters out of fear, while the captain stood ready to fight in front of him. Then the two-headed monster ordered the other monsters to pull him out. The monsters started breaking the rocks, and a fight began between the captain and Roderick below. Roderick knocked the captain down with his long sword, and his weapon fell far away. After this, taking the chance, he started continuous attacks. But the captain somehow blocked his strike, and a battle of strength began between the two. Soon the captain started getting weak, and Roderick dipped him in the water. Then suddenly his eyes fell on that knife which was floating toward him. The captain caught it with his teeth at the right moment and immediately struck Roderick's face. Roderick's anger exploded from the sudden attack. He pushed the captain back with the power of his weapon. The captain was forced to keep backing away and finally reached the edge. Then Roderick kicked him hard and knocked him down, but the captain somehow caught the rocks. Roderick started stabbing the sword into his hands so that he would fall down, but he had underestimated the captain's strength. Just as he was about to attack again, the captain caught his own weapon and stabbed it into his own leg. Roderick started screaming loudly in pain, and taking advantage of this chance, the captain stabbed the sword into Roderick's stomach. Because of the sudden attack, Roderick died right there. As soon as he died, the magic power of the crown also ended. The captain somehow climbed up and moved forward to take back the crown, but then the cave above broke, and the two-headed monster picked up the crown before him. He wore the crown on his finger and declared himself the new king. As soon as he wore the crown, his power returned. Seeing this, the other monsters also knelt down. Then the captain saw that the only vine returning to Earth could now break and fall down at any time. So without delay, he jumped straight onto the vine. The vine started moving rapidly toward the castle. The captain took advantage of the right time and jumped straight into the water. When the two-headed monster saw that the way to the human world was broken, he roared with anger. Then suddenly the small head pointed toward that bag lying on the ground, which was filled with magic seeds. The two-headed monster picked it up and opened it in his hand. There were a total of 4 magic seeds in it. Seeing this, he jumped with joy. He immediately blew those seeds into the water. As soon as the seeds hit the water, they started growing immediately, and the next moment, 4 massive vines shot out, tearing through the ground. After this, the two-headed monster gave a loud order, and all the monsters started moving toward the human world by climbing that vine. At the last moment, the two-headed monster also jumped down. He started sliding toward the ground through the vines. At the same time, Jack was watering his horse. Then suddenly his eyes went toward the sky. He saw that all the monsters were rapidly moving downward. Without wasting a moment, he rode the horse and set out to warn the king. Over there, the king's army was moving comfortably toward the castle. Then Jack's eyes fell on the army. He started shouting loudly that monsters were coming, but the king still didn't understand anything. Then suddenly, many monsters came out from the forest behind and were destroying everything wherever they went. No one was able to stop them. Soon the monster army came close, and they caught a soldier and swallowed him alive. People riding horses also couldn't escape their speed. At this time, humans were completely helpless before them. Then a round-faced monster broke the fan of a nearby windmill and threw it toward the princess, which crushed everything as soon as it hit the ground, and the king's crown also fell. Over at the castle, the soldiers stationed there saw the king's army coming, and they immediately sent news of war preparation inside. The captain immediately had oil poured into the moat with the help of all soldiers so that the enemies could be stopped. As soon as the king's army reached near the castle, he ordered to fire arrows, and in no time, hundreds of burning arrows were released toward the enemies. As soon as these arrows hit the oil, fire broke out everywhere. And meanwhile, the king's army reached safely inside the castle. Seeing the princess safe, the captain immediately ordered to close the castle doors. But at that same time, Jack was still outside, and the monsters were after him. As the castle door started closing, Jack panicked, but at the last moment, he jumped inside with his horse. However, right behind him, the two-headed monster also climbed onto the door. But then the captain attacked him, and he fell straight into the burning flames. Soon the fire surrounded him completely, but the surprising thing was that his own people didn't come to save him either, but just stood there watching him burn. While people were still talking to each other, a big iron bell suddenly came toward the castle from the sky. It destroyed the wall and fell straight down. Before anyone could understand anything, the war trumpets suddenly sounded. Then 2 big iron hooks were thrown toward the castle door, which the monsters started pulling strongly. Then a tug of war began between the humans and the monsters. Actually, this was all the plan of the round-faced monster, who ordered more monsters to be called to break the castle door. The atmosphere inside completely turned into chaos. The princess ran toward the inside of the castle, taking Jack. Over there, the old king ordered all soldiers to use crossbows to stop the monsters. Soon more monsters came, and they started pulling with all their might. Then on the captain's order, soldiers released many crossbows which hit the wooden door straight. As soon as the aim hit accurately, the soldiers immediately started pulling the crossbow carts back. The castle army split into squads, and the king also came to help. He was asking the captain about the monster's weakness when a burning tree fell from the sky, scattering the soldiers. The next moment, many burning trees started falling on the soldiers. This made their grip loose. It looked like the door would break soon. Then the princess reached inside the castle with Jack, but suddenly a heavy roar and cracks flying in the ground pulled their attention. Out of fear, both backed away, and some stones started flying upward. 2 giant hands suddenly came out from below. This was the same two-headed monster who had survived despite falling in the fire earlier, because the fire couldn't do anything to him since he was underwater, and he had quietly entered the castle through the sewer path. Suddenly he sensed the royal scent of the princess. Jack fearfully opened the blanket and saw that the monster hadn't noticed them yet. But then in anger, the monster broke a mirror kept nearby. In nervousness, both people hidden in the blanket started shaking, but the monster saw them directly from above. Putting in all his strength, Jack immediately ran, catching the princess. But the monster started chasing them continuously. Having no other way, both were forced to run toward the second floor. They weren't even daring to stop their steps, but suddenly a hand came out from the side and caught the princess. Jack picked up an axe kept nearby and attacked him directly without delay, but the monster caught him with the other hand. The small head started making fun of Jack. Then Jack angrily broke his helmet by hitting it directly with the axe. In anger, the monster opened his big mouth. Then Jack took out the magic seed hidden in the locket and threw it directly into his mouth. The magic seed went straight into his stomach, making the two-headed monster suddenly feel something wrong, and he immediately slammed both on the ground. Then suddenly a vine came out of his body, and both backed away out of fear. Suddenly, many vines came out at full speed, tearing through his body, which completely destroyed the hall. Suddenly, the hand wearing the king's crown also fell near Jack. Over there, the outside soldiers were still busy stopping the monsters. But at one sound from the round-mouthed monster, all the monsters slowly moved back and kept knocking down the soldiers one by one. The castle door slowly opened. The captain immediately asked the soldiers to close the iron gate. Right at that moment, the round-mouthed monster slowly came out from the fog with his partners. But the iron gate couldn't stop him for long, and he broke the gate in one jerk. Then that monster entered the castle with his partners. They were very happy seeing the tasty soldiers standing there. The monsters were about to attack when a voice suddenly came from behind, and all the monsters' attention went to that voice. The monster looked carefully in the crowd, and suddenly he dropped his weapon. Seeing this, the rest of the monsters also dropped their weapons and sat on their knees in front of all the humans. The captain was shocked seeing this sight. Then suddenly Jack comes out with the crown and ordered giants to return to their home, and the movie ends right here.